All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, another WNBA regular season video. In this video, we're going to do some overreactions to the first couple games of the WNBA season for every WNBA team. Some teams are going to have a lot of overreactions because they have a lot going on. Some teams that it's going well, there won't be as much to say. Some teams that are just doing about what they're supposed to do won't have a lot to say either, but I do want to get my thoughts out about the early season, this season of the WNBA. The WNBA Commissioner Cup is also coming up, so this is a good time to look at these teams before we get into some real competitive basketball with some stakes. And yeah, if you like what I've said, like the video. If you have any opinions, comment it down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. So we're going to go from top to bottom, best teams to worst teams. And first off, we are going to start with the Minnesota Lynx. The Minnesota Lynx, the best team in the Women's Basketball Association. Who would have thought? But we're here. I have thoughts. I have a few. Olivia Miles is the real deal. I think everything I said about her in her like pre-draft stuff maybe was a little bit overreaction, but uh, she's the real deal. Everything positive about her maintains that level of being positive, and everything negative about her hasn't really been shown that much. She's being coached by a great coach. Um, she's playing really good basketball. She's had her up and downs a little bit, but as a floor general, she's looked great. The team has looked great. Natasha Howard for them has looked great. A revival season for her after being in Indiana and sort of playing a smaller role. They just played the Atlanta Dream, and Natasha Howard made Angel Reese look like she was a high school player, and Natasha Howard looked like she was a multi-year WNBA vet. And who would have thought we'd be saying they're the best team? I thought they were going to be terrible. I thought Olivia Miles, it wasn't going to take forever to catch on in the WNBA game, but it was going to take a little bit longer because the point guard is a very hard position. But she has her own patented move already. She plays solid defense, not great, not bad, just solid enough. And they've looked great overall. Just really, I don't want to say amazing, um, competent. And I didn't even think they would be competent, so that's a plus for them. That's one overreaction. Um, Sitting at number two. Well, I should tell you the Minnesota Lynx are 5-2 right now, as of the recording of this video. The Golden State Valkyries are 5-2 as well, tied for the um, best wasn't that score best standing in the WNBA. Um, they just beat the Indiana Fever the other night, and I hate to say it, I'm this is gonna happen a lot throughout this video. I was kind of wrong about them. I thought they're not bad, but I just thought they'd be and they genuinely look like championship contenders. And I don't know if I said this in a video at all when I talked about them in preseason or like before the WNBA season started, but they are going to be so freaking annoying to play in the playoffs. They're going to be one of the most annoying teams, and it's because of where they play, in Chase Center. It's because of the style of basketball they play, and it's because of the way they're coached. And just adding a little piece, the perfect piece in Gabby Williams has been perfect for them. And they're going to be so frustrating to play in a 4 or 7 game series because they're going to fight you every game, and they're not going to roll over. If they keep this pace and are fully healthy, I'm not saying they're going to be the best team in the WNBA because I think that we've seen teams turn it around or flip the switch in the opposite direction halfway through the season, like the Aces did last year. But man, um, is it eye opening to see a team like this play such a not a different style of basketball, but such a what's the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing a blank on all my words there. I apologize. Such a serious level of basketball right off the rip. Like they are coached well. Everybody's locked into the game plan. The defense, even though it is a little bit annoying and like they get away with some things, they're getting away with it, and it helps them win games, and it helps them win games. And again, they're just gonna be super freaking annoying to deal with, not just in the regular season, but we know they're gonna turn it up a notch in the postseason. So when they do get to the postseason, which they will again, they're gonna be annoying and they're gonna upset some teams. and they're going to win some games they probably shouldn't win. And they have just enough firepower. I feel like they don't have the firepower that a standard WNBA team would have, but they have enough like group firepower to get the job done night in and night out. And they've been a pleasant surprise to me, I guess. Not so pleasant because like my team is going to be around in the mix in contention to play them, and that would be very annoying. That'd be a very annoying outcome for me and my team. Moving on to three, the Atlanta Dream, 4-2 this season so far. They've been kind of weird. There's like the lingering like, and I hate to bag on her again and again in every video I talk about the Atlanta Dream, but Angel Reese just I had my hopes that, I saw in the off season, I saw her play in the FIBA qualifier games. I saw her play a little bit on Unrivaled, and I wasn't blown away by her offense, but I thought maybe she had improved a little bit. Like there was that little bit of improvement that she made, and that's all you really need to do. I thought her defense was even more improved than what it was her first couple years in the WNBA, even though it was good then. It's really good now. And it's finding her rhythm in this new system, and under Carl Semesco, who's a really good coach, I think, but it's also just a wonky fit at times. It feels wonky, and you look at some of her stat lines and some of her games, and it's like you do want to give her that grace that she is on a new team, but like it's win now, man. And being at three in the WNBA right now isn't bad. Obviously, it's very good. It's a great start to the season, but like you need to start figuring some stuff out. We're starting to get some like this is a favorite team to win the Commissioner Cup this season. They could probably do it, but I'm just not overwhelmingly impressed with them right now. And it's early. Again, overreactions. It's early. But I grow a little concerned that every time the Dream fall into a hole, I'm not saying it's all on her, but the common through line is Angel Reese is on the floor. And then when the Atlanta Dream make a comeback, it's because she's not on the floor. That's a little concerning to me as a fan, where I'm like, I'm noticing these patterns. And once patterns become like, you know, every game things, they become habits, and when they become habits, you become somebody who's getting exposed on a night to night basis, and um, it's not great. So I have a feeling this top three is going to remain where it is, and then after this, after these top three teams, is where it's going to start to mix up, and people are going to go up, go down. Um, yeah. Moving on to the next team, the expansion team, who I thought every expansion team was going to be bad. I thought the Golden State Valkyries, due to history, were going to be bad because that's usually what happens with newer teams. Is they're bad because they have a lot of like leftover pieces. They have a lot of international talent, and they proved me wrong. And the Portland Fire, thus far this regular season, have proved me wrong. 5-3 on the season. They've beat the Liberty like three times out of the four times they've seen each other already. In Portland, in New York, and whatever they're doing over there is working. They got a hodgepodge of a bunch of talent. There's some things about like the kind of player they're bringing in, but like I don't care about that stuff really. Um, they've just surprised me so much, and I don't expect this to continue out through the whole season, but I expect it to be something to monitor and something to at least watch. That like they're a frisky team, and they're not afraid of the moment. They got a lot of players that aren't afraid of the moment. They are a little bit banged up right now, but I think they are getting healthier, and it's not a huge accomplishment to beat a team like the New York Liberty, who we're gonna get to in a second, but it is something where it's like it's a feather in your cap. You keep that. You run that film back when you need a boost in your morale. You say, "Hey, we beat these guys." Early on in the season, and I could definitely see them being. I could see them dropping, but I could see them being around the seventh or eighth seed and just like fighting and being annoying, and maybe taking out a team that's supposed to make the playoffs that won't because the Portland Fire are just that damn good in their first year as a team. Moving on to number five, Dallas, 5-3. The number one pick, AZ Fudd, just got her first start a couple nights ago. Played well. Um, this is a team that has been missing talent here and there. They're dealing with Elena Smith, who's wearing a face mask right now, who hasn't had the greatest start to a season, who was their big season off-season acquisition, who they're paying $1 million. Hasn't played the best. Fans are holding out for her. I'm holding out hope for her because I think she's a really good talent. But in that time, Elena Smith has been exposed a little bit, and she has been sort of, I want to say benched, but she's been sort of like worked out of the rotation a little bit in favor of other lineups and other combinations of players. And for first year head coach in Jose Fernandez, he's been getting into him with the media a little bit. He's been a little snarky, been a little, offhanded comments here and there. Um, but whatever he's doing is working. And I defended this hire when they did it. I said he has a lot of women's basketball experience, not specifically WNBA, but women's basketball experience. He has a lot of new things he can bring because he's a fresh new head coach. Not Atlanta, Portland Fire, Dallas Wings, um, yeah, both new head coaches to the head coaching scene in the W, both competent teams as of right now. There will be those ups and downs throughout the season, but the Dallas Wings are a team that plays a certain style and it looks great and it feels great. And it sort of reminds me of like, I want to say like San Antonio Spurs basketball, where like everybody's touching the ball. But like eventually when it hits somebody's hands, like the player's hands, like Paige Becker's hands, they're usually going for it. And when they can't get it, the player's there to get the rebound for them. They get their own rebound. They kick it back out. They have a lot. They have a very we'll call it anti-heliocentric basketball, even though sometimes it does devolve into Paige Becker's just throw up a shot, please. The antithesis of it is anti-heliocentric basketball, and I think that's something that in the WNBA, especially nowadays, because you have all these stars and star power is so big, you fall away from that and you rely on your star too much. And I think Dallas is trying to rely less on their stars, but have the stars ready in those moments still, and have them in rhythm still. So I really like what Dallas has been doing. Um, I still don't like the AZ Fudd draft pick, but I do have to admit I can understand the why they didn't take somebody else and why they took her, because she does fit in. And Enrique hasn't played the best, and Enrique is one of those players that we're like, well, if AZ's going to start, then Enrique's going to have to go. And I think that is going to boil up a little bit more as we get towards mid-season trade time, where Enrique might be off this team, and you might see a slightly different Dallas Wings team that is poised to make a good playoff run. And I'm not sure they're one of the better teams in the WNBA, but I like the thought of the way they play, and I like the thought of them being a young team that's inexperienced, but that inexperience is it's bliss, and you just say, hey, we're just going to try to win basketball games now. Because we have two number one picks back to back, we have a halfway decent forward center core, and we can compete with. They just beat the Las Vegas Aces, and Las Vegas Aces are the reigning champs. So you take that with a grain of salt early in the season, But it's something that again it's another feather to put in your cap and be like, oh, we did that. Moving on to six here, the Indiana Fever. This is gonna be one of the longer ones. The next couple ones are gonna be pretty long, but this one in particular, I said it, I think, in my opening weekend video, when I talked about the opening weekend for the WNBA. Um, Coach Stephanie White of the Indiana Fever, I think it's over. I don't want to say the locker room's tuned you out, because they obviously still like you, but I hate the way the rotations are. I hate the way that some players are involved that shouldn't be involved. I just, when this is the big caveat. When this team is working, it's working. When Aaliyah Boston has it going, when Caitlin Clark has it going, when one of their shooters has it going, it makes sense. And then when it doesn't, and players are struggling, and you're grasping at straws, there are no straws to grasp onto for Stephanie White. Stephanie White, I think, has some of the worst rotations in the WNBA. Like, I see some of the lineups and I love them. I absolutely love them. The other night, Raven Johnson, the rookie, and Caitlin Clark in the backcourt, beautiful. Cinema. Loved it. Because they complement each other very well. I still don't like Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark in the backcourt. I just don't. That might be a hot take. I know Kelsey has a lot of respect around the league. I respect her as a player. I just don't like her with Caitlin Clark. I said it before and I'll say it again. It reminds me of Monte Ellis and Steph Curry on the Warriors back in the day, where like the Warriors had to keep Monte Ellis because he was the vet on the team, but they have this young star who's rising and rising and rising and rising. He's better and better and better, and they're like, what do we do? And they made the right decision by obviously keeping Steph Curry and trading Monte Ellis and letting Steph Curry just be the guy, and they found somebody else who fit better with him. they need somebody to fit better with Caitlin Clark in the backcourt. Because as much as like Caitlin loves Kelsey Mitchell, um, and all this stuff, I think it's time to mature and it's time to get over. I don't care if you like this person. I really don't. Is it a good basketball fit? It isn't. And again, some nights when it's working, it looks great. But that's very right now sitting at 4-3 on the season, not under 500 yet, but close to it. I don't love it. And the postseason run that they made last year might be looking like a fluke. And there might be a team like Dallas, like Atlanta, to take your spot. And you might, I won't say out of the playoffs, but you could be down 7, 8 seed in the standing come, middle of the season, close to the end of the season as well. And I think this Fever team not having home court would be devastating, but I think they can play well on the road if given the right opportunity and the right coaching. Do I think they'll fire Stephanie White during the season? No, I think they'll wait. Unless they really go full like tank, like under 500, then they'll fire her. But I don't think they're gonna fire her. I just I watch this team and I love the thought of the Indiana Fever. They have my girl Leah Boston. They have Caitlin Clark. They have a lot of great players. Raven Johnson's growing on me as a player. I didn't really like her at South Carolina, but seeing her in the WNBA, I like her a lot. I like the thought of them. And then when I watch them, I want to pull my hair out. It's like it's just not good. And then when Caitlin Clark's not playing good, it just makes it even more insufferable. And it's just not it's not a great start for them. Even though they are above 500, it's just not a great start. And another team that's not off to a great start, who's playing very well on the road but not at home, and they're now on a road trip. The Las Vegas Aces. They just lost to Dallas the other night. Um, is it championship hangover? Is it? There's a bunch of things that factor. Chelsea Gray's, as I've documented on here, isn't a great regular season player anymore. She has moments, but she's not great in the regular season anymore. She's one of the best playoff risers in the game right now, but during the regular season, you're not going to get much from her. Um, Jackie Young is dealing with a passing in her family. I believe that is what has been reported. She's not mentally there. I don't want to come after her too much, but I will say, Jackie, if your mind's not in the game and you need to take a step away, please step away. Don't force yourself to play. I know basketball's probably your happy place. You can still be around the team. You can still come to practices, but if you're not fully there, it's showing. I'm sorry, it's showing, and you need to get your mental right. And obviously the Las Vegas Aces family is there for you. You're one of our longest tenured players. You're one of our favorite players, but you need to get yourself right, and I want you to be the best version of yourself. Because personally, me, I had Jackie Young forecasted as the best all around guard in the WNBA this season. And she just hasn't shown it quite yet, and I feel bad for her for the situation she's in. And there's a lot of expectations for this team, and I also feel like the Aces kind of fumbled the offseason and bring back the same group. I said it before. I didn't really love it. I didn't really love them bringing back the same group. I thought there were so many issues that we didn't solve as a team, and to run it back, that slog of last season can't happen this season, and it feels like it's going to happen again. And you might not be able to turn the ship around this time, and it might be really bad. Asia is still trying to be Asia, the 3-time, 4-time MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year, but she can only do so much. Like, you got to give her more to work with, and, again, this is a reaction, but if Jackie's going to be bad this first half of the season, if Chelsea Gray isn't going to have it all in this regular season at all, and then I have to rely on like Melissa Smith, even though she's dropped a ton of weight. I have to rely on, oh my God, who else is on this team? Jewel Lloyd, who I was terrified they were going to bring back, and they brought her back anyway. Just not something. This is a team I don't like, and I only like them in name, and I only like them because of Asia Wilson and Jackie Young, and everything else about this team. Maybe Becky Hammond I like a little bit just because she has the resume, but like everything else but the name and a couple players, I'm just not happy with as a fan. I'm just not. I'm not. And I said it at the beginning of the season, and I didn't want to be too negative, and here we are again. Um, not great. And the last team I'll be sort of negative about here in a little longer section of this video is the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty have been without um, Sabrina Nescu. She's been dealing with a couple things. Preseason, she did something, and then more recently, she's had like back soreness. She hasn't got a chance to play at all this season, and it's been very obvious that they need her, even though they've found some really good talent and some other players. They had Julie Van Loo for a little bit. I liked her. Almost blasted your guys' eardrums out with an ad that was going to play. Gotcha, though. Um, they found some, obviously, like I said, Julie Van Loo, who I really liked, who I thought played really well on this team. They have Paulina Aster, yeah, Aster, number 18. Really like her. Leonie Fibic, um, back in the fold. Where is she? Yeah, Leonie Fibic back in the fold. Marina Johannes playing well. Satu Sabli made her season debut and then hasn't played since, and she didn't really play well in that. She's been dealing with some like residual brain injury, illness things, and hasn't been fully healthy. So we'll see what that is. That the court remains out on her. I say all these positive things, and I do like what Coach Chris DeMarco's doing, even though some people don't like it. I see the vision, and I see the vision because when Sabrina Ionescu comes back, it's gonna look really good. But as of right now, it's pulling teeth, it's pulling nails to win games for this team. Um, they've won a couple hard ones and they've lost a couple really easy ones, and I don't think they're being prepared properly. And I think they're taking this season a little bit too lightly already. And this is what happened last season where they were all lackadaisical all season, or when we get fully healthy, when this happens, when that happens. And then it all fell apart by midseason. And people were trying to like grasp at straws to like, see, no, they'll be back. They're healthy. They're fine. They just need to make the postseason. Everybody was healthy. And then nobody was healthy. And then it all fell apart. And then they fired their coach. There's a lot of pressure on Coach Chris DeMarco to make this team good. I think they can be very good. I think for one of the first times in a long time over the course of the last couple champions, I think this season has potential for New York to actually be better than the Aces for once. Because the Aces feel like they're going to flounder all year. If the New York Liberty can just hit their stride for a couple months, give me 2 good months, I think they could actually be better. And that conversation of like the past two champions matching up could be a little bit more interesting this season, especially because Chris DeMarco is bringing some interesting new things. He's letting some players play that wouldn't normally play. Like I said, Paulina Aster, really like her. Um, it feels like a rejuvenated system. It feels refreshed at least. And if they can keep that refreshed nature about them and keep this team bobbing above water just a little bit enough, because you don't need to go crazy. You're an older team by just having John Cole Jones and Brianna Stewart. The young people can carry the team for a little bit. Just keep treading water, and then you gotta break into a full sprint at the end of the season, and then into the postseason to really show you're it. And I have no notes except positive things. I just wish Sabrina could play because I really want to see Sabrina play in this Chris DeMarco system. That would be the telltale sign whether they would be really good for the remainder of the season into the postseason or they would be really bad. They're 4-4. They're 500. Moving on to another 4-4 team, the Toronto Tempo. Not much to say. They've had a couple career milestones for a couple of their players. Nara Sabali just had a breakout game. Was that last game? Their draft has looked, as people forecasted, a little worse than Portland, but it feels like they're just feeling everything out. They're getting things settled. They're getting to know who they have on this team for the future and the now. And I have nothing negative to say about them. Um, this is what usually a expansion team is like. That's what I'll say. They're on forecast to what a standard expansion team is like, and that's not bad. They're an expansion team, so it doesn't matter. The Washington Mystics, a young team feeling it out, a bunch of young talent blossoming as well. You look at Sonia Citron. Lauren Betts has been a little bit disappointing, but I still believe in my girl. Cody McMahon has played finally. She looks decent. She looks like she has some dog in her. That's all I'll say. Um, let's see who else is on this team. Georgia Moore's played a little bit. Shakira Austin doing her thing. They're just a young team. It feels like they're poised to make a trade at some point during the season to open up some playing time for some players. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just ride this out again and try to get another high draft pick and make that one the last one. I thought this season might be the one where they're finally out of the rebuild, but they still have a lot of talent. They might need to consolidate some of that talent and make some more room for more playing time for some other players because they do have a lot of great talent, and it would be a shame to see it all cluttered up and players not play like they should. Um, the LA Sparks, Los Angeles Sparks, 3-3 on the season. Man, oh man. I the word to describe them is fake contender syndrome because they just got hit with a Kelsey Plum injury. She's going to miss a week of basketball and be reevaluated. And now it's sort of relying on somebody who I thought would be the second best player in the league this season, Neka Gumake, who just moved up the all-time scoring list a couple weeks ago. It's relying on Cam Brink, who has been playing more but needs the coach to let her off the leash a little bit more. Ariel Atkins hasn't been the acquisition they thought she'd be. And you're sort of floundering. You're well, not floundering. You're doing the reverse of what the Liberty are doing, where you're kind of sinking at this moment. And I'm not going to be completely negative on them. I just had hope that they had learned from last season and know you need to start off great. And these games early in the season matter because they missed out on the playoffs by like 2-3 games, and they're now 3-3 on the season. So starting slow might bite them in the butt yet again, and they might miss the playoffs. Very early overreaction, but the same thing with Coach Stephanie White is the same thing that's happening with the coach in Los Angeles, who I forget her name right now. It's just not working. She might not be the coach. She just might not be it. She might be in over her head a little bit. Yeah, that's all I have to say, really. I just hope the Sparks will be better, and I just don't know if they're going to be better. They might turn it around. Who knows? They might get in the groove and pick it up, but missing Kelsey is going to be huge. Some of their acquisitions this offseason have been great. Yeah. Next one, Chicago Sky, just been hit by the injury bug. There was a report that came out, literally, as before I recorded this video, like 5 or 6 of their players are out due to illness or due to like some sort of like minor injury, but they're gonna hold them out anyway. Um, I really wanted to see this team fully healthy. Rickea Jackson was she tore MCL or ACL or something. She's gonna miss the remainder of the season. I thought it was gonna be a breakout season for her, like a lot of people did. Um, it's gone. Oh, I can't say that. It's gone. We'll say belly up already. The Chicago Sky remain cursed. It seems because they could not. They just can't get healthy. Even when they can get healthy, the coaching hasn't been the greatest. I've been really defending Coach Marsh on a lot of his decisions. Now I really don't have to defend him because the team's not healthy. But also like when you were healthy, you weren't really winning games either. Um, it's gonna be a weird season. It's gonna be interesting to see where Chicago ends up. It's gonna be really interesting because they got a lot of vets and they're paying a lot of people. It's gonna be interesting to see if they can get something going at least at some point in the season to recover some respectability. Seattle Storm, young team, just got their draft pick in like a week ago from their time overseas. Awa Pham, she won the Spanish league something or another. Really happy for her. I thought she should have been the number one pick, but she played her first WNBA basketball a couple days ago. Um, Dominique Dom Malanga hasn't played with Awa Pham yet. I'm very interested to see how that front court works. And also, this is the most feel out team this season. The coach is okay. The team isn't constructed well. um, and they have some moments. They have some really inspiring moments, but otherwise, just a young team. I don't have anything to say. This is the part of the rebuild. And I hammered home all offseason since last season ended for the Storm to do a rebuild. This is the rebuild. And you're bad, and it's okay. No negatives. It's okay. It's okay, guys. It's okay. Last negative team I'll talk about, the Phoenix Mercury. I have 4 words: Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner. That's it. Can't build around them. Too old. I was told, because I was told online, Alyssa Thomas wins you games in the regular season. They just lost in the finals. Not a big deal. They're gonna be back. Are they? Are they? Yeah. Huh. Mm-hmm. Yep. Wasted the whole offseason not signing anybody. Got that one player I really like. What's her name? I don't want to butcher it, so I'm gonna try to pull it up here. Um, Roster. Um, where is she? Nogic. Yeah, Nogic. Nogic is a baller. I love Nogic. I wish he would play more. Nogic is really good. They've been dealing with some injuries too. I am going to be harsh on them because I was told Alyssa Thomas wins you games in the regular season. Well, what now? Yeah, I think this. I'm not even going to blame the coach. The coach is fine. I really like the coach. I just think this team is supremely overestimated the talent they had, and then to get hit by injuries, and then to only win against the Aces on opening night, and then drop your next five, or drop your next whatever, is crazy. Um, we'll see what happens with them. It's gonna be very interesting to see if they can finagle this team to be a tanking team. Um, because you're not gonna get a good draft pick because the lottery odds are based off the past two seasons. So if you were good last season and made the finals, and you're bad this season, that draft pick is gonna be somewhere really weird. So you're gonna have to hold out hope that like maybe you can get blessed with a halfway decent lottery pick if you're not gonna be good. And if you're not gonna be good and you're gonna go the tanking route, you're gonna have to get rid of Alyssa Thomas. And fans are not gonna be happy about that. Some fans like me are gonna be like, okay, good. She never did anything in her WNBA career anyway. That's being very mean. I'm sorry I said that. But she's never done anything in her WNBA career anyway. Always runner up, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Um, sort of kind of like the other team in Phoenix, like Devin Booker, where it's like, not comparing the two by any means, but because Devin Booker's one of my favorite players, but like you're in this awkward situation where like you have this older talent, you have some young talent, you want to be competitive right now, sort of have fake fake contender syndrome, but like you kind of have to believe in it because it happened last season for you if you're the Mercury. But like, if I'm relying on Alyssa Thomas, I'm gonna bet against that team every time, and that's just me personally. It's been proven right thus far this season. And then the last team I want to talk about, the Connecticut Sun, 1-8. Um, it's the sunset season, and the sun setting couldn't come soon enough. In all realness, they're tanking. Um, they're really tanking right now. Trying to get a good draft pick next year, and yeah, there's no notes. I mean, they waived Haley Van Lith, which is a sign of them tanking because Haley was actually playing very well for them. And yeah, we'll see what what transpires the rest of the season because the tank is coming, and I'm not sure it's going to be a great season for them to watch basketball, but they will be entertaining next year, moving to Houston. So yeah, that's it. That's my overreactions to the first less than a dozen games in the WNBA season. Um, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Um, oh no, the end screen's playing right now. I almost did my old outro. My end screen's playing right now. Check out the video on the left. Check out the playlist on the right. Um, if you hit the little icon in the middle of the screen, little GT icon, a little subscribe will pop up, and you can subscribe with ease. Like and comment as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.